Hi guys, today we're going to talk about dip pens, so specifically the one I use the most and then some other ones in my collection. Okay, so if you have watched this channel before, you know I love dip pens, and specifically this one. This is my favorite one. So it's a Brause nib holder and it is the gold E&M nibs. I get them from Jet Pens. So there is a link to everything on my blog, and you can see I love using it with this gold Winsor & Newton drawing ink. And you can find links to all that on the sidebar of my blog. There's a link to a post that's got my favorite most used supplies, so you can find everything there. But in this video I'm going to show you a new nib holder that I found at Jackson's Art. It was like $2 and I'm pretty sure it's a pretty similar, if not the same, nib holder. It's just in a darker color. So anyway, we're gonna we're gonna talk a little bit about oblique nib holders. So these ones have the side angle, and you can place the nib in the sort of the flange on the side. And I'm just showing you this one here. This is called a oblique, and it's about $10 from Jet Pens. You can get them in some really pretty colors. The amazing thing about this one is that when it opens, you can hold a few nibs in it, so it's great for traveling with nibs. And a lot of calligraphers really like this one, so they can put 5 or 6 nibs in there, and then they can take their other nib holders as well. So you can see I have that one. It's plastic. This one is wooden, and I do prefer to hold the wooden one while I am working. And then these two are poster nibs. These are the ones I was talking about from Jackson's Art. So they look pretty similar to the other one, but they're only $2. So this is what I'm just doing here is I'm showing you when you first get the nibs, you always have to clean them, or they have sort of a finish on them that won't allow the ink to flow. So I just normally run them across the flame and then they'll go black, and then you can just wipe that off is what I'm showing you. But there's different ways to clean them. You can put them into a potato for 24 hours. You can clean them sort of with a cleaning solution. It might take you 10 or 15 minutes of scrubbing, whereas the flame just puts it out immediately, even if you have like a lighter or something like that. I'm a little bit behind here, but I just showed you, I like the straight holder because you can just dip it easily into the ink, versus the oblique one. You have to kind of have a special pot, or you can use a paintbrush, which I'll show you in a minute. And I figured out, I've kind of had a little play with the poster nibs. So when I first got them, and I'm kind of going to show you here, I tried them with some fountain pen inks and then with just other inks, and the fountain pen ink is a little bit fluid to go through them. Thank you for whoever commented that as well, that was really appreciated. So I wasn't sure if I was doing something wrong there, but you can sort of get it to work, and I'll kind of show you that in the video. But it's not necessarily exact for fountain pen inks, but you can use it, and I will show you as well in the video that's coming up on Saturday where we swatch all the inks. So I do have another video that goes through everything about nib holders and dip pens, and I go through the different parts of the pen and everything like that. So I'll link that video in the cards and below as well. But today we're just going to go over the 3 different widths of the pens and how you hold them. So every time I dip on, because I'm doing it through the camera, I always go, I never quite get the bottle. But here you can see this is just a thin line. The really nice thing about the nib pens here is that you can do a variation of thin and thick lines, so you can create calligraphy really beautifully with them. You can also use these so I got them for swatching inks, but you can also use them for calligraphy. And you can see that I hold it sort of perpendicular to the paper, so straight up, and then I pull it down almost horizontal, like almost parallel to the paper, so right light down, and that seems to get the ink flowing onto the page if it's not fluid enough. Well, I've found that to be mostly the case, but here we're using a FW shimmering green. It's one of my favorites. Again, I really love colors that are barely their colors, so a lot of the colors that I use that are shimmering colors, you need a daylight lamp or a daylight light to see them, so they work best. So even if you have like a lamp from Walmart or Target, or if you just want to put a bulb from Home Depot, a daylight bulb, up in one of your room or your studio lights, you'll be able to see these colors better. But you can see here, so I mean, I've only played with these a couple of times, and the widths and everything are varying, and I'll show you sort of this size poster pen, what it can do. But I really enjoy these. I was looking at getting the Pilot Parallel pens. If I can get something that's wooden rather than plastic, I know I'll use it more. And I was so happy to find these wooden holders at a really more affordable price. So the one I got was affordable. It's $6 on Amazon, but then this way, if they're only $2, you can get, you know, several of them, and you can put different nibs in them and things like that. So, and also the one on Amazon seems to fluctuate as well. I saw it on there at one point for $15, so I'm not sure what that's about. But I forgot to show you the oblique holder, so I'll just do that now. So I absolutely love these. I think that a lot of calligraphers really enjoy these, and they use them as workhorses for addressing envelopes, writing vows for people. But you can see here this large poster nib, the sort of the size of the lettering that you can create with it. So this was just a practice. Again, I need to print out a sheet of like Old English lettering so I can actually kind of practice more, but I just wanted to show you the size, and then here you can see the 3 different sizes of pen and the different lettering sort of they can create. Okay, so this is a sort of a traveler's notebook style. It's more like a book style, bookboard style traveler's notebook that I just wanted to put some art paper in, and I do have a video about how I created this, but I just wanted to show you, it's really large, but I just wanted to show you how the how I kind of use the dip pens and what I use it for. So I use them a lot for illustrating and also for, you know, handwriting and calligraphy. Okay, so while we're here as well, I thought I would just show you through my hand lettering sheets and kind of how you can practice calligraphy. I get a lot of really lovely comments about my handwriting, and it's taken me a while to develop this. And so what I did is I actually put together some handwriting sheets so you can get them in my Etsy, and this is a really good way to practice calligraphy. You don't have to use mine as well. You can get some off the internet. You can, look up Spencerian or anything like that. Mine's kind of a hybrid between modern calligraphy and sort of the old flourishes, the calligraphy full of flourishes. So it's kind of just one that I have created, my own font. But this is kind of the way that I would recommend to use a nib pen. Like if you're just starting and you want to learn how to write, this is a really lovely way to do so. Okay, so I'm going to show you how the calligraphers use a paintbrush, and they sort of paint the ink onto the back of the nib. So I always find different results for this. I guess I haven't practiced again with this enough, but when I just dip the nib, you can see from the top line, like it holds a lot of ink. It writes for quite a long time, and it's a really nice experience writing. I really recommend and love these nibs. They're not scratchy. They're very pleasant to work with. But you could see here when I was using this oblique pen, I kept running out of ink, so I guess I wasn't sure how much ink to put on the nib. And so the other thing is I wanted to just quickly run you through these sheets. So the first 5 sheets I think is A to O, and then after that you get P to Z, and then you get the alphabet and some variations. So I'm just kind of showing you through the lettering sheets here, and I've been meaning to do, I have promised a couple of people to do a video about these sheets, so I will do a separate video and go through all the letters and everything like that, but I thought this would just be a good place to kind of pop in a little bit about this so you can see. Okay, so here I'm going to use a gel pen so you can see as well, and this is the K, and so you can practice that on the practice sheet, and then you have the variation of the K, and then I'll show you as well that this will also work for the H. So the H has a similar letter form on the practice sheets, but then you can also vary the way that you do the H. So there's so many different ways to vary letters and change them, and you can even practice with these or practice with other sheets, and still after you do that it will sort of conform more to your style and your handwriting. So I really love that about handwriting. And so you can see there, you don't have to use a dip pen or anything fancy. You can use a pencil and you can keep going over it. So if you don't want to keep printing out the pages, you can either erase the pencil, or you can just keep going over the letters again. The D is one of my favourite letters, so I wanted to just show you as well, and it's slightly different on the, variation sheet, so I just wanted to show you that. Okay, so we're nearly finished, but this just arrived, so I wanted to show this to you. So I first saw these on, I've seen these before. I've had a glass pen, I think maybe 10 years ago or so. This one doesn't feel as strong and sort of glass-like as the last one I had, but it is pretty. I just got this off Amazon. I think I've been watching Chris Sayen's. I love her ink videos, and I've been watching her use a glass dip pen, and I finally thought I'd get one. So we're going to use the Robert Oster Rose Gilt Tint ink. This is one of my favorite inks, and you can see here, so I'm going to let you listen. So this was actually my first time using this glass pen. I remember the glass pen, I think I had like an Italian one before, and it was a lot smoother to write with. This is quite scratchy, and for me, I just I prefer a smoother writing experience. So that's why I love the nib holders and the dip pens, but this does have its place, and it's really good to use for ink samples. So you can see how much ink is still on this nib, and so I could use this and write quite a lot without having to re-dip. So you can also see with this one how the ink, because this is a fountain pen ink and it's very fluid, that it's not staying on the dip pen as well. So that's why I like some of the other inks, like the Winsor & Newton Gold drawing ink is made for dip pens, and it's the right consistency to be able to flow smoothly. And so that's why a glass nib, a glass pen is good to be able to write with for fountain pen inks. It's really helpful for that. So that's just a few different pens, a few different options, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.